How are you? Hopefully you still recognize me. I'm you from a year ago. And I wanted to do a message talking to you. And I wanted to highlight some things that you might still be going through. And maybe you can be uplifted because you don't seem to take anybody else's advice. So maybe you'll take your own. You're your own worst enemy, dude. Every time that you don't feel like doing anything, every time you procrastinate, every time that you feel like you don't want to do something because you don't feel like it's going to succeed or have any chance to succeed, you have to remember that never trying is always failing. Just remember that time that the first time you got the guts to ask that girl out. How did you tell yourself? You told yourself that if I don't ask her out, she's already said no. It works the same way with everything else in life, dude. If you don't try, you've already failed. And you should take that to heart. Because if you look around, you'll see that doing nothing equals nothing. You have to push through. You have to keep going on. And no matter what you're doing in life right now, hopefully you're doing it to the best of your ability. Because you're a good person. People might not agree with it. People might want to throw stuff in your face. People might want to bring up the past. But at the end of the day, you live with you. And you know you're a good person. You remember in 2010 when you had that epiphany? What was that epiphany? You remember it? Yeah, you do. That epiphany was being approachable is more effective than being impressive. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? You know what it means to me right now? It means that don't let your ego get in the way. Don't tear down bridges. Don't burn things because you want to seem impressive. Your ego is one of your biggest flaws, and at the same time, I understand where it comes from. It comes from being good at certain things, and you let that certain things define yourself. Remember when you were a kid and you thought if you had a nice truck you'd get girls? Then you realized that girls didn't care if you had a nice truck. All that money that you sunk into them, all that money that you sunk into other things, it didn't matter. Remember that? It approaches every part of life. People don't care about what you own. People care about who you are and what you do. Your work ethic, your way of life, your word, these are things that are important. These are things that people actually value you on. How confident you can say things and how much you show those things. People aren't impressed with devices. People aren't impressed with general talents, because you see it. You see the media talk about how talents are impressive. If you play guitar, if you juggle, if you play piano, more people will be attracted to you. This is correct in a small sense. But just because people are attracted to something that you can do doesn't mean that's your defining characteristic. You can play guitar and be an asshole. You can play guitar and be a drughead. You could be Mozart on a piano and be strung out on heroin. These things don't define you. Your personality does. And you have a good personality. I think the most important thing I can say to this, I'm just going to keep it short, is that if you're looking at this video, you're still alive. And that's the most important aspect of life, is living. I remember times when I was at this point in time, where I'm like, what is happening a year from now? And I couldn't tell. Well, you know that answer. What happened a year from now? And you know what? The person watching this video will probably watch another video a year from now, a year from then. Just keep living. That's all you can do. Life is not something that you can dictate or prepare, and not everything in life is in your control. A vast majority of things in life is not in your control. I remember when I was working 12-hour days, 4 to 5 days a week, hating life. And remember when we seen that guy in that brand new F-150 pull in, and you're over here driving your old clunker, and you thought, like, how is he doing it? How is he doing that? Because you felt like you tried your hardest and everything. You felt like you went above and beyond. You were beating the odds. A person your size shouldn't be doing what he's doing. And then 2 years later, you were making triple your amount of money. Life is not certain. You shouldn't act as life is certain. You can't control a large amount of what happens to you. You can have an influence on it. You can have goals and work towards them. But life is not written in stone. You could be a millionaire and you can get in a car wreck too. You could be a 5-star general and get in a car wreck. Just live. That's the best advice I have to you. Keep living, because at this point you realize that it finds a way. Life finds a way. I know it's corny and it's a Jurassic Park line, but it does. Stop listening to yourself. Which kind of defeats the purpose of this video.